Hey guys, I'm attorney Terry S. Heron, and the S stands for I shall not tell you. Remember Fred Sanford when he would always have like Fred S. Sanford? Was it S? I think it was S. It may have been something else. All right, so listen, you guys. Um, I want to talk to you about marriage, okay? And I've been married for 22 years. And so this kind of sparked this video, that is, kind of sparked from the fact that there was a rapper who filed divorce on yesterday. Cardi B filed for divorce against Offset, and then it became a conversation with some of my associates, and some of my friends as to when do you file for divorce? Okay, and here's the thing: growing up for me in a household, a religious household, where it's like you don't really file for divorce, or you pray and God would change things. You hold on until his change comes, or until change comes. I forget how it goes. It's been a while since I've been to church. Virtual church I've been doing, but you know what I mean. So um, the question is, when do you know? And so a lot of times we know, and we may be confused, and we may be holding on to what we perceive as, oh, if this person would just get it right, this is how it could be. But here's the thing: you can't live in a marriage where you're depending on the potential of this person, okay? And you can't live in a marriage where, honestly, it's no longer serving you. So the question becomes, do you wait and see if something changes? Or do you go ahead and get out of the situation? And if you're a strong person, and let me take that back, because you don't have to be a strong person. You can be a strong person and still, this could be your weakness. But really, here's what I'm going to say: decide whether you are still growing with this person. Decide whether this marriage is still serving you, because just because you're married to someone doesn't mean that everything that I want just goes out of the window. Yes, we do have to compromise, okay? I like it cold. I'm sorry, I like it hot, and my husband likes it cold. Like, we are just on extreme, at extreme when it comes to how we even like the house. Like, he likes it cold, I like it hot. But at the same time, that's just, for me, that's something simple like a compromise. That's no reason to leave a marriage. But then there are things that are more extreme that people are dealing with. So, one, for me personally, I'm not going to deal with cheating. That's just me. I've seen a lot of marriages that go on and become great. But my thing is, when I have people asking me the question, it's like, well, okay, is the person sincere about changing their ways? Have they showed you that they're changing their ways? Have they stopped the relationship? Because I had someone who was in my office, they got caught cheating and then got kicked out of the house. And then I was like, oh, so where are you living now? Well, I'm living with the girl that I was accused of cheating with. It was like, if you're trying to save this marriage, don't do that. Like, so for me, if I was that guy's wife, it's over. There is no hope of reconciliation. There is no let's get past this for me. Like, oh, you cheated on me and you're going to go live with her. If you have to live in your car at that point, live in your car. But you're not doing this. If we have any chance, you're cutting all ties. Okay? That's just me. But you have to know, okay? So for me, that whole I'm going to cheat and cheat and cheat and cheat and cheat, I don't know what your breaking point is, but that's just not me. All right, number two. I want you to be putting something into the relationship. This doesn't need to be where I'm doing everything. Okay. And for some people, they're fine with that. That's personally, I'm just not fine with that. And here's the thing in what I'm saying, you have to determine what will keep you there and what really, honestly, to you is, hey, I need to get out of this marriage. Okay. You can listen to your parents that were really religious and say, stay until death do us part. Um, I get that, but that's just, for some people it works out. We always hear the grandmas and grandpas that were there for 50 years. And, it's like, well, he cheated for 40 of those years. And it's like, that's not a celebration. I don't want to be with you for 50 years celebrating our 50th year anniversary. And I got to tell the world for 40 years of that, you cheated, but I stuck in it. I stood by your side. No, that's just not me. Okay. That may be you. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, hey, do you? You have to decide when it is that you will be filing for divorce. Some people know 3 years in. Is that how long Cardi B and Offset have been together? And some people, at 20 years in, they know. But here's the thing. It is really heartbreaking to me when I see somebody come into my office after maybe 20 years of marriage and they say, I knew 3 years in that I did not want to be with this person. And it's like, well, wait a minute, because here we are 20 plus years and you're still with the person. So if you knew then, why were you holding on? What were you holding on to? And here's the answer that I always hate to hear. I did it for the kids. I did it for the kids. Let me just tell you something about the kids, okay, that your kids will not tell you. They don't want to see all of that in the house. Like, you guys hate each other. You guys always have attitudes against one another. They don't want to see that. You guys are like not on one accord. So don't ever say you did it for the kids. You did it for yourself. You're telling yourself that you did it for the kids. But really, if the kids told you the truth, because I've had some clients where their children have actually been happy that they filed for divorce. And I get that that's not easy for children, but to me, I'd rather be a child of divorce than a child of my mom and dad fighting every day, having no sense of togetherness. That's just me. All right. And so again, if you don't get anything else from this video, it's you have to know when to file for a divorce. Your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, your best friend that hadn't had a man in 10 years and she's, on Instagram living it up, but at home she's like crying because she doesn't have a man. That's like, so you can't listen to these people because these people will tell you, yep, girl, you need to leave him. And as soon as you leave him, you think, okay, where's the party? And they're like, girl, I'm in a new relationship. And you're out there by yourself, okay? So you have to know when this is no longer serving you. You have to question whether this is something that I should stay in. And to me, if it's an abusive relationship, whether that's physical abuse or mental abuse or verbal abuse, to me, I would draw the line there, because no one deserves, like, you're not property, okay? You're not property. So unless this person is respecting you, I think for you living this life in a relationship where there's no respect, really you're going to put that into the world. Like, you're going to be disrespectful, you're going to be angry, and really that anger should be towards your spouse and not really the world. So to me, that's the reason to file for divorce. But again, remember my theme, it's on you. You are the one that would have to make that decision, okay? Nobody else, because your friends can hype you up and your family can hype you up. And then all of a sudden, you regret that you were filing this. So one of the things I would say is, if you think really marriage counseling would be helpful, do marriage counseling, see how that goes. Sometimes people go to a marriage counselor and the counselor is like, you need to divorce him right away, or you need to divorce her right away. Because sometimes there are personalities that, the person may be a narcissist. You just never know. If it's, for me, if it's a controlling relationship, then I'm out. Peace out. So you have to determine when it's time. And then to me, if you are a religious person, personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with asking God, should I stay in this relationship? I don't know if you're going to get a verbal, yes, you should, or no, you shouldn't, but I think you're going to get some kind of peace. I think whether you follow the Holy Spirit, the universe, whatever whatever you follow, I think things would line up with the decision you make. And again, it's going to have to be a decision you make, because once you decide, I'm out of this, I think the universe will line things up to where it will work out for you. Okay. And I don't take lightly when people actually file for divorce or want to file for divorce. It is something serious, because really this is somebody that you plan to be with your whole life. And now you're divorcing this person. So it's like building a house and tearing the house down. But guess what, you guys? You can rebuild the house, and you can rebuild the house better. And, and if it's you, by the way, I would encourage getting counseling, even if you don't know whether it's you or not, because the worst thing to do is to divorce somebody, to go to the next relationship. And then it's like, this is the same thing that happened in my last relationship. And then you go to another relationship. It's like, once again, this happened in my first 2 marriages, so at some point you have to be like, well, is it me? And if it is you, there's nothing wrong with getting help. There's nothing wrong with one-on-one counseling. I actually encourage people to do one-on-one counseling and couples counseling, because guess what? At the end of the day, even though you guys are one, you guys are still 2 people, okay? So you really have to bring your own happiness into the relationship, because if you're unhappy, if you don't love yourself, if those things are not there, if you're not a whole person, then you're not going to be a whole person in a relationship. So I am a firm believer of people being whole. Like, learn to love yourself before you jump into a relationship. And I know that's easier said than done, but really you have to love yourself. It shouldn't be a half and a half coming to make a whole. It should be whole, we're whole. Okay. It really has to be that way. And for those that may be thinking about getting married, date yourself if you need to. I know it sounds silly, but even me, I'm married, but I've never had a problem going to the movies by myself. I've never had a problem eating at a restaurant by myself. And people are so uncomfortable seeing that. And I have no idea why. But listen, if you've been married as long as I've been married, then sometimes you just need your alone time. And there's nothing wrong with that. I would encourage that. Whether there's a girls' trip you're going to go on, whether that's, I'm just going to take this road trip to clear my head, or whether that's, hey, it's Saturday, I'm just going to the spa by myself. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. All right. I'm attorney Terry S. Herron. Enough rambling on. Let me know what your opinion is. Okay. Like, should you wait 20 years, or should you get out of this within 3 years? Again, it's up to you. But if you've been, in that situation and you've had to face that, tell me, what was the best course of action for you? How did it work out?